65,000 people forced from their homes in a single weekend. Entire neighborhoods in Spokane, Washington reduced to ash. More than 700 structures destroyed. And the man accused of starting the largest of these fires? He told police he planned it for weeks, researched the weather, and brought waterproof matches and a butane lighter with him. This is the worst natural disaster Spokane has ever faced. I'm going to break down exactly what happened, where the fires are right now, who's in danger, and what comes next. Let's get into it. To understand the scale of this, you need to see the numbers. 3 major fires erupted in and around Spokane on Saturday, August 1st. Together, they make up what officials are calling the Spokane Complex Fire. Combined, they have burned more than 10,500 acres. Tens of thousands of people have been displaced. The destruction is unlike anything this region has ever seen. The weather conditions that day were about as dangerous as it gets. The National Weather Service had issued a rare warning across eastern Washington. Washington is in the middle of a record-setting 4th consecutive year of drought. The vegetation was bone dry, and then the winds picked up, reaching 50 miles per hour at times. Spokane Fire Chief Tom Williams told Reuters that this created the perfect conditions for fires to explode. And explode they did. Let's break down each of the 3 fires that make up this complex. First, the Old Trails Fire. This is the big one. It started west of Spokane and blew into northwest Spokane, becoming what officials are calling the worst natural disaster the region has ever faced. The fire jumped the Spokane River. At one point, the flames were within 6 miles of downtown Spokane. This is a fire that ripped through urban neighborhoods. The Old Trails Fire alone has destroyed hundreds of structures. It has burned at least 3,500 acres. And here's the update on containment. As of the latest reports, the Old Trails Fire is 13% contained. Second, the Autumn Lane Fire. This one remains the most active of the 3 wildfires. It has burned at least 900 acres. The Spokane County Sheriff's Office reports crews have been working to hold the fire within its established footprint. Containment on the Autumn Lane Fire is also at 13%. Third, the Fairview Fire. This one is a bit smaller at roughly 980 acres, but it remains the most concerning in terms of containment. It is only 5% contained. Combined, these 3 fires have burned more than 10,500 acres. To put that in perspective, that's roughly the size of 8,000 football fields, all consumed in a matter of days. Now let's talk about what this looks like on the ground, because the numbers don't fully capture it. This is a level 3 Go Now evacuation event. More than 65,000 people have been ordered to flee their homes. An estimated 700 to 1,100 structures have been damaged or destroyed, and officials say as many as 1,824 structures remain threatened. Spokane Mayor Lisa Brown called this the worst natural disaster our region has faced. The American Red Cross has opened shelters across Spokane. The Spokane Convention Center is serving as the primary evacuation center. Hundreds of people, including many elderly residents, are staying there. Nursing staff are helping people change clothes behind blankets. Patients from the Mann Grandstaff Department of Veterans Affairs Medical Center were also evacuated. Earlier this week, some residents returned to find their homes leveled. In some cases, only chimneys were left standing. There's nothing to save, Miriam Sim, 76, said Monday as she and her husband surveyed the ruins of the home where they had lived since 2005. And here's a detail that has rattled the community. A 37-year-old man has been arrested on suspicion of arson in connection with the Old Trails Fire. That's a person who allegedly started this devastation. Spokane County Sheriff John Nowles said a witness reported seeing a man identified as Aaron F. Farinacci kneeling down in the area where the fire started and looking nervous. He was found with waterproof matches and a butane lighter. But the story gets even more disturbing. According to court documents, Farinacci told police he planned the fire for weeks. He researched the weather to predict a day that would be hot and windy with low humidity for starting the Old Trails Fire. He picked Saturday, August 1st because he knew there would be strong winds reaching 50 miles per hour. He also told detectives that fire is powerful, beautiful, and that things that go through fire experience a kind of rebirth. He said he knew it was going to get bad, but claimed he didn't intend for it to grow as much as it did. He faces 5 first-degree arson charges related to this fire and 4 others dating back to 2025. He is being held on $2 million bond. He has a prior felony manslaughter conviction from Arizona, where he served about a decade in prison after killing his father in 2010. Paul Child, 64, has been credited with leading police to Farinacci. He was driving with his grandson along some railroad tracks when he saw a man standing there and looking toward nearby trees. About 10 minutes later, the man was still there. He was bent over in the brush, acting nervous, Child told the Associated Press. You get the feeling this guy's up to something. Let me share some more human stories to put this in perspective. Kami Falig, 58, was one of hundreds of area residents who fled. She told Reuters, about 30 minutes before it jumped the river, my husband and I were seeing how bad it was, and we told the kids, we don't want to scare you, but we think you should start preparing to grab some things. They watched their house and chicken coop burn to the ground. Anita Stokes evacuated with her cats and her wedding album. She was able to return to her home on Tuesday, only to find nothing left. Our house is just ashes now, but I don't think it's sunk in yet. Now we're kind of trying to figure out what we do next. She lost one of her cats in the fire. She and her husband are now living in a camper trailer at an evacuation site. Corey Hobson, a 55-year-old lifelong Spokane resident, posted a video showing charred trees and scorched earth. Not every house was destroyed, but a lot of them were. I've never seen anything like this before. Alicia Davidson and her husband also lost their home. Just to have everything gone and to know that, shoot, we have to completely start over. We have nothing. You know, all the things that could have been the home that we were building, growing in, it sucks. Spokane County Fire District 9 Chief Matthew Vinci, who's been in the fire service for 30 years, said these fires have hit close to home, with some of his own neighbors losing their houses. It's tough to see. Those are your neighbors. Those are your friends. They lost everything. So a woman who gave her name as Angela told local outlet KHQ that she and her family were safe but had lost their home of 21 years in the blaze. You walk away with what you have on and that's it, she said, but we're safe, so that's all that matters. She admitted she could not help mourning the loss of her children's possessions. Everything from their upbringing is gone. So what is the response looking like? This is an enormous operation. More than 1,400 firefighting personnel have been assigned to this complex alone. More than 100 Washington National Guard members have been deployed. Governor Bob Ferguson declared a statewide emergency, activated the Washington National Guard, and imposed a statewide ban on most outdoor and agricultural burning through September 30th. The state has requested federal assistance from FEMA. Fire crews from more than a dozen other states and from Australia are also helping. At the peak, more than 29,000 wildfire personnel were deployed nationwide, with resources heavily concentrated across Washington state, Oregon, and Idaho, according to the National Interagency Fire Center. Now, let's broaden the scope. This crisis in Spokane is happening in the context of a much larger disaster. Washington is on track for its worst fire season since 2021. The state has already seen more than 1,000 fires burn about 425,000 acres. Currently, more than 260,000 acres are burning in 17 large fires across the state. Commissioner of Public Lands Dave Upthegrove said, this is going to shape up to be a historic fire season in Washington state and the Pacific Northwest. And here's an honest caveat. The Northwest geographic area is at preparedness level 5, the highest level on the scale. That's a statement about capacity. National firefighting resources are maxed out, and quieter regions are being drawn down to their bare minimum staffing so crews can be pushed to the Pacific Northwest. The country has already seen more than 44,700 wildfires and over 5.15 million acres burned so far in 2026, ranking as the third highest on record for this point in the year. Let's look ahead at the weather because this matters for what happens next. There is some good news. Favorable weather conditions, including calmer wind, helped crews make progress. Control lines have been put in around all 3 fires, and we actually have containment for the first time since the fires started. Evacuation levels could be downgraded soon. But the danger is not over. Fire officials are bracing for hotter, drier conditions expected Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Lower humidity and increased winds could reignite active fire behavior. Tom Stokesbury with California Interagency Incident Management Team 7 put it bluntly. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we're going to definitely have some hotter temperatures, some lower relative humidity, and the wind's going to increase. If I had a crystal ball, I could tell you, fire is a very unpredictable thing. Senator Maria Cantwell warned, "We are not out of danger. The next couple of days will be challenging." And there is no rain in the immediate forecast. Spokane County Sheriff John Nowell said at a news conference Thursday that it's going to be weeks before people can safely return to their homes in areas burned in the Spokane fires. So here's where this leaves us. Washington is facing a crisis of historic proportions. The Spokane fires have destroyed hundreds of homes, forced tens of thousands to flee, and stretched the country's firefighting resources to the limit. The good news is that containment lines are in place. The bad news is the weather outlook for the next few days could change the picture fast. If you are in the Spokane area, stay tuned to your local sheriff's office and Spokane County's official emergency notification system. Evacuation levels can change quickly. If you see an official closure or an evacuation order, follow it. I'll be covering this daily. Containment updates, new threats, evacuation changes, all of it, as long as this situation stays active. If you want to stay ahead of this instead of catching up to it, hit subscribe and turn on notifications. This situation can change fast, and I want you to have the numbers before the headlines do. Stay safe out there, Washington. Stay safe across the West. And to the more than 1,400 firefighters on the line right now, thank you.